So it's 9:32. We do have a quorum, so we'll get the meeting started.
I'm Paul.
Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Thank you for coming.
Paul, what's your last name?
Tiger. T-I-G-E-R, like the animal.
And so the agenda. Does everyone approve of the agenda? Is there any change or addition to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve.
Okay.
Julie moves to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
And Jeff seconds. And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
And is that unanimous, Candy?
I'm sorry.
All
I'm still
approved.
in an echo with this call.
I'm so sorry.
I'm in my own little world here.
So sorry. So all unanimously approved the agenda. Okay. So next is the approval of the November 12th minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Jeff, do you have an extra? Otherwise, I can print another one.
I guess that's mine.
I usually don't print you one because I know you bring one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
That one, we're good. All right. Any discussion about the minutes? Is there? Okay.
It looks good.
All right, great. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Cindy, a motion moves to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
And Maureen seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All approved. So, all right, we'll move on to public invited to be heard. So, Paul.
Oh, hi. I'm Paul Tiger. My wife and I have lived here for 29 years. We've been to the Callahan house a couple of times. It's a part of Longmont history. We're both immersed in Longmont history. My wife was the chair of the Art and Public Places Board for, I don't know, I think 5 years. Anyway, just, ways for me to learn more about Longmont, or, I'm a salvage operator. So maybe, I've been to the museum where they're collecting more typewriters than anything, and they just accept everything. So they're kind of a junk hole. They could have a better filter on that. I don't know what happens here, but it's Christmas and the house is all dressed up, so it's kind of fun. Anyway, that's what I'm doing here.
Okay.
Maybe I'll come to the board. The city website has some difficulty with the vacancy list or sign up. There's a snafu going on right now. So.
Okay.
Huh?
Well, there is going to be, we just did our, first start of 2026 board assignments, but we'll have another one for beginning in July, so there'll be a mid-year.
But there's no vacancies now
application
on the
process.
board?
Correct, because
Right.
they just finished them for next
October,
year.
I think it was.
But it started in October, and applications were due in October.
Right.
And then we'll start our new year in January, but in July there will be starting new appointments. I think the applications are in April?
The spring,
Yes,
yeah.
they're in.
Yeah. So
I'm aware of that.
and we'll have openings at that point. So in April will be another opportunity to apply for this board and
Okay.
others potentially, whoever has vacancies for the mid-year.
Well, I'd like to even out the balance.
You'd be very welcome.
Okay.
Well, Paul, nice having you here. Thank you. Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on to old business. The digitized scrapbook.
Yeah, I've been kind of trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do that, because there's been an issue with the trying to figure out how many hours and some other things in order to work with, and I'm writing blank on his name, but Sergio. And that's just one of those things. We've got to figure out exactly how we fit within the city spectrum of that.
Is there some new news about this?
Yeah, there's been some issues with them specifically, with that organization and the city, and exactly how we're utilizing them. And I don't want to step out of what the city council or anybody else has got in their scope.
Okay.
So I'm kind of in a holding situation.
Are we allowed to at least meet with him to do the initial thing that we were
Mhm.
going to do with?
Yeah,
and bring,
that's
yeah,
my
Brittany
understanding.
and-
It's just there's been some readjustment on how many hours they're putting forth. Is my understanding
For this project or potentially as a whole?
as a whole for the city.
Okay. And the idea with this project is that it was always going to be as they have additional
Extra
available
hours.
hours.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
okay.
and because we're on the lower end of the totem pole,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm kind of in a snafu situation, kind of waiting to see
okay. Maybe we
what
can-
exactly.
Yeah.
Does
maybe-
that make sense?
Sure, yeah, maybe we can chat more about that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we will table this then until January.
Okay.
I did wonder about the committee for that, because you're currently the chair of that, and so if anybody else wanted to talk about taking that over in January, since Maureen has to depart us for a little while. So something to think about. And who else is part of that committee? Karen and Jeff? Okay. So, I mean, I think we'll just kind of talk about committee formation in January in general,
Yeah.
but just something to think about. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, thank you, Maureen.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we want to be ordering any supplies for preparing the scrapbooks before the end of the year?
Well,
Or are we good to wait till January?
I think we should order some of the items that we need, like the white pencils and whatnot.
Okay. Could you email a list to Brittany, copy me on that? And I'll
Mhm.
double check too to make sure if I'm remembering from our meeting at the museum which supplies we were thinking, oh yeah, that's what we do need.
She
and was
emailed us a
describing.
list of things that we should get.
She emailed a list of the websites that we can order the
Oh.
supplies through.
Okay.
But that's okay. Let's go ahead and we'll
Yeah,
put our
okay.
heads together. And if you can just email a list to Brittany and copy me on it, we'll make sure that at least. Does that need to be done before the end of this year? Or do you have any concerns about that?
No, at this point, I think money spent is going to be in next year's budget.
Okay.
Or we're at least
So it
on the
doesn't
borderline
matter.
of that. So
Okay, I just
it
wanted to
doesn't
be
matter.
timely if we were.
And
Next year might be better, actually. We've
Okay.
had a lot of supply purchases this year.
Okay.
Okay. So, interesting enough, since we spent a tremendous amount of time at Hobby Lobby, I noticed that they had white pencils and other things that would be applicable in my.
Are they the archival ones that we were advised about? Well,
Mhm.
it'd be worth checking, and then I guess cost
Yeah.
comparison.
Yeah.
If that's
Okay.
if you want to do that. I don't
Okay.
know that I'm signing on to to do that, but I would definitely trust the archival supply sites.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Understand. Got it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll then move on to patrons of the Callahan House. And in your packet, we have the 2 letters that have been approved by the committee as far as their thank you letters to patrons. So one, of course, is to companies and organizations. It's geared toward that audience. And then the other is toward families and individuals. And our hope today is that if there's any change, we can address that and make those changes to the letters and then approve the letters as changed, or if they're acceptable as is, we can move to approve the letters as is. That's our goal for today for this.
After we've worked on this so much, Karen, I think we can really approve them as is. That's my opinion, unless somebody sees some other glaring issue here. We've worked on these diligently, and you have, in particular, and I think they read very well and are clear and concise on what we wanted to do with the program.
Well, thanks. I just want to let everyone have an opportunity, and if there's anything that anyone sees, many eyes are helpful.
I'm just curious where these live. Like, where does this document live? Do you have this as a working document?
Yeah, And the idea about this one, it would be just like the follow-up for right after people.
Yeah, you are the chair currently.
Right.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I just noticed that bit, that it's signed from you specifically, so.
Right. This is an example for,
Okay.
and I think that some of the committee discussed the idea of, well, maybe it could be a separate board member whose name is signed on, or if it is someone that they know the donor. So it's more personalized touch. And I think that was the objective. Am I right?
Just wanted to make
Yes.
sure someone
That's
else
what
could.
was discussed.
And so it would not just be whoever the chairperson is.
Okay.
This is example of personalized.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The only thing that stood out to me was the sentences. We deeply appreciate your partnership. If you have any questions or would like to contact us further, please don't hesitate to contact us at Callahan. I thought having the word contact twice.
Okay.
I like if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at.
Okay.
That's the only.
It does say connect.
Connect.
Oh,
The
connect.
first word is connect.
Oh, connect further. Okay. Well, then never mind.
Okay. Easy
I
to
read it as contact.
I read it as contact.
easy to read things certain
But-
ways. So it's
Yeah,
always
see?
good. To, but is this acceptable with if you'd like to connect further? Are we okay? It's
You
not
don't particularly
duplicative.
care for it.
Yeah.
But
You don't care for it.
Oh, that's fine. I think it's fine without it, but it's fine with it.
what would you all prefer? Let's do it that way.
If you have any further questions,
How do
please
you,
don't hesitate.
what's the context of the first word contact? Or what's the context of the word contact there?
Connect. Well, this is focused on individuals and families, and so perhaps if there was something else that an individual or family wanted to, I don't know, address or talk more
Well,
with
yeah,
us
I'm just
about,
saying, what is the
open to-
sentence that you have contact in?
Oh,
It's connect. Connect
I'm
further.
sorry.
If you
I
want to
thought you
connect
said
further.
there was contact twice.
I
for
misread it.
contact and connect.
But my brain
The
saw
sentence-
the word
But if
starting with a
people
C
are
and
saying
and
It's
said
connect
contact.
and thinking of
And said
contact.
connect.
Will they? That's a good question. The
Well, if they
question-
are, maybe one of them could change, but what's the first time you see, or the time that you see contact?
I'll read the sentence. If you have any questions or would like to connect further, please don't hesitate to contact us at Callahan at Longmont, Colorado.
I like the connect, because that says
Okay.
we're open to you volunteering, helping.
Yeah.
Come see more about what we're doing.
It's trying to engage, and I think I like it. And actually, if you look at it, it's in both
Yeah, it's-
letters.
Yes.
It's
yes,
absolutely
yes.
both. I think it's just
fine.
how it's all lined up. I personally, the big thing is to try to make connections with the community, and I think it's pertinent.
Well, the second one could say, please don't hesitate to reach us through
But
blah, blah, blah.
I misread it.
I think.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying if people misread it, if the others are seeing the same thing, it's not a big deal.
Do you wanna, I was going to say, do you want to read it with your? It's right there in this. Right here, we duplicate here.
I think we're overanalyzing.
Yeah. Let's just
Okay, so
Approved
are we
is right.
okay with? And I do like connect because we are trying to be
I do too.
welcoming and
Please don't.
open and.
To reach us okay. Yeah. So that's fine.
Okay, so at this
I
time,
kind of
I
like
have
that as a
one
buzzword for us to
question.
use
connect.
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 in a lot of things
Yes.
Yes. Connecting.
with the community, with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
With,
That's what we're trying.
We talk about the annual appreciation event.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that might be a little
No.
premature. I know we're planning an event of some kind. It
Yes.
may not be that though.
Yes.
So we might just want to, instead of like an appreciation event, maybe we'd want to call it something different so it can be a little more vague for the time being, because it might be more of a, like not a rollout, but a awareness event of patrons, or it might be an appreciation event after we have some more patrons to appreciate.
Right.
Yeah,
Do
I was
you-
thinking about it. If there weren't too many, it would be.
I was going to ask,
Yeah,
do you have any additional patrons that we don't know about other than the?
it's just the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if those thank you letters have gone out to those two, then this really wouldn't apply to those. And so really this wouldn't apply until next year when we start to
We're trying
really
to get
roll
ahead
it
of-
out. So
we're
this
trying to
is
get ahead.
this is
Sure.
just our template, so to
Okay.
speak. But and our hope is that yes, we will definitely be doing a little modification of what the event is going to be in 2026. But in 2027, and this again, the year will change to January 2027. But it's is it an acceptable thing? Because the idea is to have an annual patron appreciation event, and we can readdress this and modify it if need be next year.
Okay.
But just for now, it just gives us a
Okay.
something to start with.
And then just another question, more out of curiosity, not that it's a problem, but the differences between the organization and the individual in terms of what we're, this is kind of talking about programs. Like this has the preservation piece
Mm-hmm.
that's missing or different here. I'm just curious.
The
In
preservation
terms
piece.
of the differences.
Are
Yeah.
you thinking we're not addressing the preservation piece in one letter or the other?
No, just and like the purpose of the differences between the two.
The purpose or the reason of the difference between the two is that we were addressing a person or a family versus a company or organization.
Right.
And we identified those maybe benefits, I guess if you want to look at it that way, or perks for a company or organization, which were quite different from a family or
With
individual.
logos and that type of
So
thing.
that would be
addressed
the
in
reason
letter.
for the difference in the configuration of things and some of the language.
Okay.
I mean, it is, again, it's a working, modifiable letter.
Document.
Just generally, do we like the feel of it? Do we like the flow of it?
Okay.
Do we like that kind of thing? And we can address it and we can change it next year, of course, too. We're not going to be using it at all at this point,
Okay.
except for just a template to take for next year. What are your thoughts?
That's fine. I had a question. I think you made a comment a couple minutes ago that the date will be changed to January 2026, 27.
Well, when these letters go out next year, then the information for the annual event that will happen in 2027 will come out in January of 2027 for generally the March event.
What if we didn't specifically say a date, so to speak, and just said information about the event will be upcoming in the near future, or in
Yeah.
sometime during the next year?
It could be beneficial to keep it a little more open-ended since we
Right.
don't know yet.
Okay.
I know we talked about February, but just in general, since this program's so new and we don't, have a whole lot of traction on it yet, I think keeping it more open-ended would be beneficial.
Leave it kind of really open-ended at this point.
Okay.
2027 sounds like a long ways off.
Well, if I
Well,
think
when
if
you're in
you were to
2026
Yeah.
and you're a
Still
donor in
long.
2026,
Depends what part of the year.
okay.
It just sounds like a long ways off.
Okay.
I
I
like
don't know
Katie's
that
I
it
know what
needs
you're
a
saying.
date. It could just
We
be,
can
and the event will,
just trying
information
to.
about the event will be provided to you,
Okay.
and just leave it
Yep.
as vague as possible, just to give us more flexibility. I don't want to be making any promises.
Just more information about the event will be provided.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
All right. Yeah. So we'll just do that for both. Yes. Just was trying to give people kind of a ballpark as to when they hear back about anything, but
Yeah.
it's
I'm
okay.
not going to remember.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That works. So we're removing in January 2026 at the end of those sentences. And
Will
is
be
there-
provided.
which will be
Which-
provided, period. Is there anything else that we need to consider changing? Any other thoughts?
Well, the problem about removing the date is then we don't strive for it.
Oh, we will. I mean, this has been on the agenda forever, and we know it's there. It really is. I mean, I think we just kind of have given ourselves, actually, if you make a document a little more open-ended, then you haven't constricted yourself to something that's so rigid. To me, something that you create like this doesn't have to be that specific. It's a general letter going out of thanks. And we do intend to honor your patronage, and stay tuned. Yeah.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
So it's not that we're ignoring the date or the importance of this at all.
Good point. Good point. Oh, okay.
So do we need a move that we accept these?
I think we need a motion to accept these with that
As
redaction. And
Okay.
As a working document.
as a working document, yes.
I so move that we approve this with the amended changes and continue to use this as a working document.
Okay, Maureen
I second.
and Candy, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's everyone. Thank you. All right, we will address patrons again in the new year. So, all right. Now we're moving on with future restoration preservation. So, thank you for the updated.
Oh, yeah.
sheets.
I forget about that.
Yeah. And everyone have a chance to take a look at that updated restoration preservation sheet.
I like how there's an annual section in like the maintenance.
Something I might suggest that we do going forward, because we have talked about, this is great, going forward, because we've talked about what do we do when we have things completed. I do agree that we keep them in a list, and I actually would like to see it by year. So if something's done in 2023, that's a section of completed. Something's done in 2024, that's a section. And then 2025.
Yeah,
and a nice
the
thing
plan
about
was to
that.
reformat this a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we're about at that point,
Yeah.
probably for next year, that it needs. But I was kind of thinking, since we're including it in the annual report, to try to keep it as compact as possible for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's time to. It'll be a larger spreadsheet with some additional sheets and whatnot, or some additional tabs, and be kind of separated by year, I think, after this iteration.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be great, because it will be nice to be able to look back at any time at, oh, when was that done?
Yeah.
Or was that ever done? It will be nice to look back at what was completed in what year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do we want to see
this is perfect for now.
just kind of for future, do we want to just see like completed tabs separated by year, and then a future tab and an in progress?
I think so. I like
Okay.
the keeping the future, in its own section, because that is we're looking forward. What are we needing to pay attention to? What's next priority? And then what's in progress is helpful, because it's like, well, this is what's happening. And then looking back,
Yeah.
being able to historically look just year to year. is helpful. But yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
Sounds good. Paul, I can email this packet that we're looking at to you if you want to follow along.
Yes.
Sure, I can do that right now.
How does everyone feel about that?
I like that idea. I think it works so much better.
I'll take it back at the end. Okay.
It'd be easier to follow.
Okay.
Let's see which kind of email address I should use.
Here, I'm
Oh,
gonna
here
give you
she
mine
is.
since
Take the
I have a copy already online. That way you can just have it right now.
Okay.
And basically do the same thing with the maintenance, the general
Yeah.
maintenance as
Yeah,
well.
those can mirror each other.
Helpful to be able to look back, have that organized and recorded,
Yeah.
but definitely what's happening now and what needs to be focused on. So, but these are perfect for the annual report for this year.
Oh, I did, unless there's any other questions about that, I did have one thing related to restoration and preservation, just an update about the quotes that we have kind of in play at the moment. Those being the ceiling of the fountain, the tile floor, the parquet floor, and now also re-added the sconce here. And so kind of an update about that. We have decided to just kind of move on to another vendor that can maybe help with some of these projects that needed redone. So I've been talking with Deep Roots, who just did the restoration of the firehouse, and so we've got quotes in the works with them, and there's been, you know, some back and forth information to try to get those kind of fine-tuned. But one question that I had for you all in terms of the white tile that's in both kitchens and the kitchen and both bathrooms. Some question about that is, so they can definitely do like a deep clean and a reseal of those. They're getting really porous, and so that's kind of what needs to be done. Some other things that can be done. The best example probably is the large crack that runs across like the entire kitchen floor. They can work with some of that. What that looks like then is that it would be replacing some of the tiles themselves that are cracked or need repair, or replaced rather. There's not really like a repair option for the tiles themselves. So the other piece about that is if we do replace any tiles, then they do some regrouting, and it can end up being really obvious where things are regrouted. And you can actually see in the upper bathroom here where the toilet leaked a number of years ago and all that water damage, you can see where it's all regrouted there around the toilet. So I wanted to see what everybody thought. Maybe we just want to do the deep clean and sealing and leave the original, tile how it looks. There's not really structural damage there. I mean, the crack in the kitchen is not related to the tile. It's probably more foundationally related, but so that would be kind of my thought. And because once you start regrouting a certain area, then you kind of have to do the whole thing, otherwise it's really obvious what you did, so either way there's going to be some like aesthetic implication, either seeing what is newly regrouted or seeing the damage that is already there but is just part of the historic nature of it. So if anybody has any thoughts about that.
Well, it's not a tripping hazard, right?
No.
And it's not a hazard in any other way.
No,
right?
it's purely aesthetic, which then we kind of open up
I'm
another aesthetic can of worms. That's was my thought as well, but
I mean, it's a natural aging occurrence and very old structures, and it's not a hazard, so
and it would involve replacement as opposed to repair in certain areas that don't necessarily need replaced other than for an aesthetic reason. So that was my thought, was just to go with the deep clean and sealing for the tile.
I like that idea.
Okay, and then they're also working on the parquet, same kind of thing, deep cleaning and like a wax and sealing, which is what was done in the past. I actually did connect with Kathy to get some more information about that. So they're working on a quote for that. They've basically had issues finding contractors. Like there used to be a few that were really great and have since retired, and so it's kind of the same issues that I'm having, is just finding anybody that does these historic wood floors any longer. But they might have some people that they can reach out to. So they're working on that. But it's seemingly the same kind of thing. Deep clean and seal with what was there instead of any sort of stripping of any kind.
So they would not be stripping what's on there now?
Yeah, that's been kind of the guidance on that, is not to do any stripping of that floor and not to do a different type of sealing than what was there, because that can create some funkiness. So just to continue with the waxing, but it needs a deep clean first, more than what like our custodial staff can do.
Right. So the clean and wax. Okay.
Yeah. And then I just put this one on their plate. So we'll see what they say about that.
Okay.
So, but those are like the 4 sort of projects in the works with that company right now. The fountain certainly is going to have to go to bid because it's going to be more than the $10,000 threshold. But the rest, I think, hopefully won't be. Not so far, but as you know, information develops, that could change. So that's the update on all of those things that are kind of currently
Have
in
we shared that
progress.
it's official with Memory Lane?
No.
Yeah. I recall at the last meeting we vaguely alluded to Memory Lane being the award winner for the furniture bid. So Brittany's been working with Dan on that, and I don't think you have dates yet.
It's going to be that first, or really it's like the second week of January after people are back in office kind of a thing. The week of January 5th, we'll start at some point that week.
Great
So,
news.
Just so you know, I did submit a grant for $5,000 to go for this. I will not know if it's awarded until April.
okay, thank you. That's great. Yeah, every bit helps.
Oh,
So
it does.
yeah. So yeah, we're glad to see that moved forward in that direction. The bidding process was pretty interesting, but now we know. So yeah.
Yeah, now we know. Isn't that the state?
Yeah. And actually, since we're talking about the dining room table, I had intended to talk about this in items from staff, but Dan did share with us some leather samples that we need to choose one. So I wanted to share these with you all, and maybe we want to go downstairs afterwards and look. It seems to me like there's only one that is really similar to what's there, but these 2 are kind of more textured. This one is like a smoother, that is more similar to what we have there, but these are basically the options, so we'll need to know what we want to move forward with. So we can kind of pass those around, and if we want to take a look downstairs with the chairs afterwards, we can do that
I think
too.
the bottom
But
line is it's all about restoration and making it look as similar.
close to what was there, yeah, which I think really is just the one, but I think I'll take a look, so. Yeah, I think that's all we have for that.
Can we go back on the tile from the kitchen?
Yeah.
If that crack remains, will they be doing anything to it?
No, that's kind of so it'll get a new seal, like it'll be deep cleaned and sealed, but
Okay.
they won't be doing anything aesthetically or
So
like.
they're not going to regrout that
structurally.
crack or anything?
No, just because then we basically have the same situation on our hands where you can see where
Right.
it's different, and so, yeah.
I think it's fine. If they did replace the tiles, there's no assurance that's not going to crack again.
Right,
Because
yeah.
of some movement in the floor below.
Yeah,
So I think that's fine to leave it,
Yeah.
not to replace tiles.
okay, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, good. Second thing, just on the Questers, I met a couple of ladies here during the open house, and I was just very, very, very impressed how proud they are to what your group is doing for this house.
Oh, yes.
And they talk about, we did this, we're doing that. They're like the furniture group are doing that, just so proud in what they're doing for, this house, this organization. So I was very impressed by that.
It's not just this house, because we also had the opportunity, there's an old refrigerator that is over at Sandstone that we refurbished and put out there, and it looks beautiful, and that's one of those things that we're glad that we're able to do that. And I'm proud to say that on how much they've done for our community. We've done a lot for the Stanley Home and for the Berthoud Museum and other places as well. So it's not just here, but I'm kind of particular.
But it is impressive to look around and see all the things they have done here.
Yes,
Yeah. Really
they've
is.
had a long-standing
And the-
history of
Yeah, I think the pride is what's
contribution
most
to
impressive.
this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah. So thanks to the Questers.
Yes.
Susan, doing the
Okay, then.
refinishing the furniture,
Do
and
you?
reupholstering the chairs.
We'll talk more about that then afterward. We'll just all.
Yeah, I think we can just
But I
take a
think
look and double check, but it seems
It's looking pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Anything else on restoration or
Are they
preservation?
using?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
they're
all
using.
No,
Usually
it's
meet
just
that one,
ongoing,
that
isn't
one.
it?
Always. Old building,
Yeah.
always. Okay, we'll move on to the Habitat for Humanity Gift of Home Tour debrief. It was amazing. Candy,
Yes.
Maureen, oh my, and the team. I mean, everybody just worked incredibly hard. It was so amazingly, just outstanding.
Did we get a final count on
Mm-hmm.
the numbers?
Yeah, I've got numbers for you.
Yay.
Okay,
But,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just really impressed with everything that you guys did. I mean, yeah, thank you so much for all the hours and hours. The house looks beautiful, and everyone said so. So thank you. Well, I didn't do a total add up here. I have the 2 days, but I don't trust my math. So, and then I'll give you the breakdowns. So total visitation between the 2 days was 431.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Our open house last year for the holiday decor was 345. So I wanted to just beat, what we've done in the past, and even the year that we were had just finished the restoration project, and it was in the Times Call and all the papers. We had 408. So we beat the last couple of years' records, and I think that was the goal. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yay.
that's great. And I think Habitat had hoped for like 300 or 350 or so. So we far exceeded that. So yeah, I'm really happy with the.
And I figured, I don't know how many questers actually worked on this, but between the hosts that volunteered and the clubs that helped decorate, we had 58 people plus the questers. I didn't even
There's
don't know
10
for
of
sure
us.
how many. But
Yeah.
anyway, that is amazing that many people from different walks and different areas came together
Yeah.
and helped to put all that to make this happen.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
without all those people, you can't do it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
couldn't have done it ourselves. So.
Yeah.
And those numbers are not included in this, so with those
Right.
it puts us
Mhm.
right about 400 or 500. So
Mhm.
yeah,
And it felt like it gave the decorating of the trees by the different groups gave them ownership. At
Oh,
the
yeah.
PEO meeting the other night, they were bragging on the CJ
Aw.
tree.
I love that.
I love that
We're
though. I
clear.
think that's a good thing
Yeah.
because everybody felt
Connected
ownership
and-
connected
and
and connected, and that's
See,
the
there's
key.
the connection
connected.
and including people and incorporating as many people as we can in the house.
Mm.
So,
Yep.
Yeah,
so I thought it went really, really well.
I heard feedback from one gal who came who not only donated a few items, but came to decorate and then also came back as a host, and she was just beaming of how much fun it was hosting, and she's like,
Wow.
I wish I could do that again next year.
Wow.
So, I think for maybe some of our open houses too, if we involve some people from the clubs,
I
that
think
they
might
would
be a really good
appreciate
idea.
that too.
You know,
Something to think about.
we could do differently is just say, okay, CJ, here's your room, here's the tree. You bring what you want to decorate it, and you come up, or we come up with a theme, and then they have to do that. I mean, that's just a possibility.
It
but-
is a possibility, and I think it's one of those things that keeping our connection with the community is huge. I think it's a really good investment for us.
So I think it would be a good idea to send a note of thanks to each of the businesses that donated,
Yes.
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 greenery and poinsettias and so on. And I'd be happy to draft something.
Oh, that would be wonderful because I mean,
Do
Do you want to do a letter that is for everyone,
Um,
or do you
Just
want
a
it's
note.
handwritten note?
we've got that Callahan stationery.
Callahan
I mean, if you're fine with it, I'll just go ahead and send the note on my own.
Right.
I think that would be a great
that's
idea.
Do
Okay.
you want to use the stationery, the Callahan stationery?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
that would be
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So if
think
you
that's
take care of
important.
the businesses that donated floral things, Cindy.
Yeah.
As far as who else should be thanked, I'll be glad to write thank you notes to what other groups should we focus on.
I already wrote a thank you note to my PEO chapter FD that came and helped. When we had our monthly meeting, I went ahead and
That's who
did
I
a
was
thank you note already.
thinking
so.
of focusing on as the people who decorated the trees, the groups. So I can finish taking care of that.
Were there dollar amounts from the or from the businesses that donated. I would just be curious if some of them fall within, you know, the tiers of, I guess not necessarily patrons, but just, you know,
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well,
that's a
Longmont
lot.
Floors,
Donors.
theirs was 300,
yeah, just general donors.
and Flower Bin was 100.
Okay.
The others didn't give me
Amounts.
any amounts, but if the Longmont Floors did 6 poinsettias and it was 100, then Lowe's 6 poinsettias,
Was probably
you know,
about the
might be
same.
something near that.
Okay. I just was curious, like if, in terms of the donor list, we've been talking about patrons, you know, being displayed in places. I don't know, maybe it's more something to think about reaching out to these companies for the like organizational patrons in future, or, you know.
Yeah, I'm just, I'd be concerned that if we are trying to get them to be patrons, or we recognize what they did and name them as a patron, that they suddenly have this obligation each year to.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't go that route, but I think probably, like you said, the thank you note is appropriate for now, and then maybe like the two more local ones, Flower Bend and Longmont Florist, maybe can at least receive a patrons informational
Packet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm surprised that centerpiece was only 300. I thought it was like
See, I thought
That'd be
300 was a lot, but when
Oh,
I
really?
saw it, it's like, oh boy,
was
it's worth
just
it.
immaculate. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
It
just
was
gorgeous.
gorgeous and
Okay.
huge.
Yeah.
Did you take pictures of everything, Cindy?
I took pictures of the arrangement. I wasn't that happy with them, but I did that. But
Did
I
you take
didn't.
pictures.
I've taken a lot of photos.
Because
I
I
mean, just of all of the things.
I was just busy
Good.
keeping myself up. with-
Yeah, no, I've
Yeah,
taken
Well,
a
you
lot.
know what would be
I
kinda
didn't take
nice if-
pictures either. I just didn't even
I
think
know.
about it.
If
Well, it's
somebody
not
has
too late to
a
take
collection
pictures of some things.
Yeah, I've gotten lots of pictures of decor. I took a few
Oh, good.
of, you know, actually like Maureen talking to folks in the house and things like that. Habitat also came in and got some action shots during, and they were going to share those with us as well. So
Cool.
I think we're pretty well covered on
Did-
photos. But
did
that
you-
said, if anybody got anything, please.
Did you happen to
share
do
them.
one of, let's say, the archway with the greenery on it?
I got.
You did. Because I would
Lots
love
and
to
lots of
send a
decor
photo
photos.
with the thank you note
Excuse me.
to each of these people showing how
That's
their
a great
thing was
idea.
used.
It's a photo. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I'd
I
love
can
to see
send you the
pictures
like,
if somebody
photos
wants to
Okay.
share
to
them.
that.
Yeah, I would love to see photos if we get a stash.
And the other purpose too was kind of like documentation for
Mhm.
future decorating.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of that was kind
right.
of my
The
intention.
scrapbook.
A lot of it was like
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see what we did and
The
Actually,
scrapbook,
that's
the
a good
digital
idea.
scrapbook.
Yeah,
We do need a
Yeah.
good scrapbook. We do need.
Which leads to, I don't know if you're going to talk about it later or not, when we have to de-decorate.
yeah, I guess we should talk about that now.
Because certain things have to go by the 17th because
Yeah.
of the upcoming wedding, and I'm full aware of that. So the morning of the 17th, we've got to come in and
So
Yeah.
only the things in the guest or bride's room
And
really need to be
here
clear.
is-
This as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're having their ceremony in this room.
Ooh.
So the tree can stay, and they want, you know, a few things around, but like all of the
toys
antiques
around.
and stuff on the floor, and
Okay.
and probably
Dollhouse.
just for safety, the dollhouse and whatnot. And then yeah, everything in the bride's room other than the tree needs to. So that's we've got some time starting at 9 a.m. on the 17th for that. And I think Maureen, the folks like the questers and the folks that have loaned this stuff are going to be here at that point, or you're just going to get that stuff to them. Or,
I've got to get it to them.
Okay.
Jean Ann Wright is a elderly lady, but I am going to need some help getting a certain thing. There's no way I can get that mannequin down by myself.
Yeah.
It's just too heavy.
No, that's fine. Are any of those folks that loaned stuff, are any of them available to come and pick up their own stuff so you don't have to like take all of it to them? Is there a better day when they could? I just feel like
No, I'm going to try to get as many volunteers as I can, but I'm not seeing a lot that
Okay.
can do it.
Okay.
I've got people that have gone out of state,
Okay.
and It's going to be interesting.
What day are you planning for that?
17th.
I have jury duty.
Oh boy.
Boy, you really know how to have fun.
That's definitely
So what
some
time are you
holiday
starting on the
joy.
17th?
I say 9 o'clock.
So on the 17th at 9 a.m., whoever can be here
And
to help
just
de-decorate.
de-decorate and pack
Yes.
nicely
And really just these,
areas.
just the upstairs,
Upstairs.
sans the trees, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah, because they want some stuff for, it's, December 21st wedding, they wanted some
Yeah,
decor.
but they want the trees
But, yeah.
and the packages underneath for the most part.
Yeah,
But there's certain things we're gonna just take off and just
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I can't help, but I'm getting knee surgery this Friday.
Oh,
So-
again, you know how
You're
that's
excused.
on. What?
Yep, that's
Ho
fine.
ho ho. Fun,
And I would
fun.
imagine, I can probably pull together some volunteers,
Thank you.
my friends.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Let's see what we can
I have
do.
to work around my son's final schedule, but
Well, I
I'll come.
understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll come though.
Alrighty. So that's our plan. 17th at 9 a.m.
yeah, and do we want to set up a time for the rest of the, because I
Yeah,
think
we
what would be
should.
good
Yeah.
for everything else is to get, board together and our staff, and then just kind of go through have sort of an idea for future, what we want to use. Some stuff is loaned, and some stuff we purchased, and some, just figure out what all of that is and what we want to use for future and what was maybe just for this year, and then pack everything away according to at least having an idea of a plan for next year. It doesn't mean it can't, change a little bit, but I
Can
think
it
that
hold
would be
to
best.
January? Can it hold to
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah, this is a
board
January.
meeting?
This is
so
like
that
a.
way we get the whole new board in.
Oh, okay. To set a date at that
That might
point.
be a good
Sure.
idea. 'Cause
Yeah,
that way
that's
we
fine.
can be inclusive of everybody, and
Yeah.
it's a learning opportunity for new people too.
Okay.
So after the board meeting, is that what you're saying in January?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
What
so we
date is
need
that?
like
it's the
a.
second
It's
Wednesday.
the 14th.
It's the
14th?
second Wednesday, so it's the 14th. Keeping it a 9:30 time.
So you're saying at the next board meeting we'll set a date for
Yes.
holiday decor cleanup?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Which would happen kind of, within a few days or a week after that board
Oh,
meeting.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant me just stay and take it all down.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant too.
I don't know. I don't know if we can obligate everyone to do that. Would we need to get a hold of the new?
We don't have any. Yeah, that's a good
We
point.
don't have
This is
anybody new.
this
This
is
is
the
it.
board. Yeah, we're not. There was only.
The one that I
We're
knew.
getting to
we'll
that,
get to
but
that.
there was
Okay, we'll
only-
get to that.
That's further on the
Okay.
agenda.
Well,
yeah,
then,
no. Thank you
if-
for
I
saying
guess-
that. That's a good point. There are no.
Then
new
I
board
guess
members.
if we're all okay
Yeah.
with the 14th, staying beyond the board meeting, we can make that the plan. Do
I
we
think.
want to?
Let
do
me
that?
double check because I think we have PEO. They'll be here at 2:00, which means they'll be here at 1:30. We'll have to be setting up at 1, so it might not be the best time.
So we'll just set it then
Okay.
at the board meeting.
Okay.
Because then that way we'll
Unless
all have
people feel like
better
it's better
understanding of our schedules.
your
and how
I'll
we
let
do
you
it.
know when it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Most people feel like it's
if
better to
that
set it
time,
now,
That
since
would
it's
be
for
4
people.
weeks for my surgery. I should be okay to.
Well, I'm hoping you'll
Yeah.
be able to. Well, I'm hoping you'll be able to, but I don't want to jump the gun.
De-decorating.
Let's
on
just,
17th.
we'll plan it at the board
No.
meeting. That way, if you're
17th of
just
December.
getting
this
out
room
to
and
the
that
end
room.
of your
That's December.
recovery,
Okay.
we're not
And then we're
pushing
gonna
it.
do-
And what
And
is
then
it?
the rest of the house
date of
we're
the
going to do
board
in
meeting?
January.
Yes.
So
Okay.
January 14th. It's the
Okay,
second Wednesday.
so I mean, I
We said
should be
9
able to
o'clock,
attend
right?
that at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
9 o'clock.
we'll schedule it then.
On the
Okay.
So
That'll be a
I'm
good
going to
plan.
ask Brittany, did you want the
Or
tree
whenever you can.
in the bridesmaid
To
or taken down?
Schlep things
I
downstairs.
think. They
for us.
wanted holiday decor. I don't know if it leaves enough space for her, and it's kind of like in
That's
front of
the
the mirror
question.
and whatnot.
I
It might be better to take it down if we
Okay.
can get to it, just to
Okay.
give them plenty of space.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can always move some poinsettias around to help it look
Yeah.
Christmassy, but
Okay.
yeah.
Unless it's easier to move the tree over to the other side, but I imagine it'd be easier to just take it down and then that
Yeah.
one's done.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 14th at 9 a.m. You're looking for
17th.
17th.
January.
Oh,
Wait.
No, that's not the
what
meeting.
exactly are you asking?
Cleaning up the.
Help for cleaning up is December 17th at 9 a.m. If you're interested in
Thank you.
helping,
Thank
we'd
you.
love your help.
Yeah.
So,
And again, it's mostly loaned items that we're
It's-
packing
yeah.
up and returning to people is what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that pretty much wraps up Habitat for Humanity.
I just have one question.
Unless you've got something else.
Do you have a cutoff date when receipts need to be turned into you? I haven't turned any of them in yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Next
No,
year
it's
might
for
be better,
reimbursement.
right?
I know there's going to be a lot of us that have spent money that we're just writing off, but then there's a few that, like Hobby Lobby, I purchased things
Okay.
like that. So sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's going to be all in the next year budget, so I didn't know that there were any others coming in. And are any of them over $100?
Not over.
Okay.
Okay. I can bring them to you tomorrow. Santa tomorrow, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, whenever. They're not going to be on the 2025 budget at this point, I don't think, so.
Okay.
I think they will.
They will?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can spend into.
Maybe wait a little bit then.
You can spend into next year with this.
Okay.
Like if you had to pay something on like the 30th, could still come out of the 25th.
Okay. Okay, whenever. Candy. Does anybody else have outstanding receipts? Okay.
All right. Thanks again, Candy
Yeah.
and Maureen, for leading that whole project.
Yeah.
Just doing an outstanding
Yes.
job. It truly was
Amazing.
Exquisite. Everything.
I just
everything.
heard so many good comments about the home.
A lot of
And
first-time
about-
people, yeah.
About coming here and the experience, and even from the Habitat people, that we welcomed them in and wanted them to be part of the things, and they weren't just excluded and on the porch. They were at the other home, so I'm very proud of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And great teamwork. Everyone really helped to.
And I know
Make this come out.
things didn't come out as we expected on certain things on behalf of Habitat, like the lighting and other things like that. But it's something to think of what we want to do and what we want to accomplish just as our own being. What we want. Yeah.
I think it was exceptional. The whole everything. So great job, everyone. All right, we'll move on to the formal garden plan. And so what I'm hoping everyone still has that email, but with the full report, but I'm hoping what we're going to be doing over the winter will be do some pruning and some limb lifting. Do we have any kind of update from forestry department?
Yeah, I did connect with forestry, and they have us on their list for early in the year to come out and to kind of do an analysis and see what needs done. And they have been provided the plan. It's also been provided to like our liaisons with parks and things like that. So everybody's been made aware of our goals with that, and so yeah, forestry early in the new year will be the kind of the first steps with that. And then I think what I kind of imagine at this point, I don't know for sure, but is maybe sitting down with parks and just kind of seeing what is doable at what times within the constraints of the budget, because that's going to guide a lot of the process. But they also understand that there's some volunteerism, like some volunteer hours available for this project from CSU students and those kind of things. But I think, we can start with forestry and then just sitting down with parks and kind of
Making sure that
setting
we're
up
all on the same game plan.
yeah, and understanding like what is doable within, within the parks and their contracted budget and what we need potentially outside help with or those kind of things. So, and whether or not outside help is available. I mean, there's still a budget to work with, whether it's parks budget or our budget or whatever it may be, and what CSU, can provide.
When you say the parks, does that include the arborists and all that?
In the
Forestry is their own division.
Their own entities?
So
Okay.
yeah, and that's something that they kind of do. I mean, they kind of already had us on their on their list. But they've been provided this information to just.
Is there any way that we
understand where
can
we're
meet
going
with
that.
everybody at the same time?
Potentially, I think it would be best to start I need to have an understanding of like where Parks views this plan and that kind of thing and what their initial thoughts are on it, and then I think we could probably have a larger discussion.
Okay. I just think it helps if we all get on this, we have a better understanding,
Yeah.
complete understanding rather than play telephone. Does that make sense? It seems like we have little meetings here and there, and then everybody didn't hear the same thing. And it seems to me if we meet all at the same time and get a better understanding at that meeting, then hopefully it's clear.
That's kind of what Brittany's job is to kind of figure that all out and then let us know where we go from there, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I think, I need to get an understanding first, and then,
Okay.
because I'm not really sure what Parks' responses to this, other than they have it and will review it when they can, so,
Okay.
yeah.
And I guess if there's any question by, like, Parks or Forestry Department, for example, because I think we're starting with Forestry Department, right? We're cutting trees.
Just because that's like the timing that they do that kind of thing anyway.
Right. I mean, if there's any question there, then we could pull Sheila in for any, additional inputs, right? Because
Potentially.
it was kind of based on, what the walkthrough was and her recommendations and what's in her report.
Yeah.
If there's any question that they're looking at, well, what do you mean by, then that might be helpful to have her included in that.
Yeah, I think everybody's. Say again.
Did they just say that we're on their list?
Yeah,
When you
it's
reached out
kind
to
of
them?
it's kind of one of those things they know where they need to hit in a certain period of time, and it gets the timeline for that is as they're able.
Okay.
But so I need to get more information about how everything fits together before we are asking people to spend their time with a larger discussion.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Which makes
All right.
perfect sense.
So will anyone have any other question about the formal garden plan? Okay.
I'm excited about it.
Yes, it's great. We have something we're aiming for. Goal. Okay, so we'll move on to the Santa visit. That's scheduled for tomorrow night.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same as it's been, 3:30 to 7:30 tomorrow. So if y'all want to be here about 15 minutes early.
Well, I'm going to be here all day.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
You want us here about 3:15?
Yeah, 3:15, whatever works for you.
When's the chair coming in for Santa?
Anytime. That's the other thing that we need to figure out is I don't think we want this area necessarily like this with the kids being right there. So that needs to be decided how this area needs to look. I mean, the chair that we use for Santa is in my office, so that can come in at any point, but do we want some of that just kind of more moved to the sides? Do we want to
Yes.
use the ribbon still? To block some
I'm
of it
thinking that we
off?
want to use the ribbon still.
Okay.
And possibly then just I can't haul it all out today. I just
It doesn't. I don't think it needs to or should come out. I think it
I
just
like the
needs to
idea
be
that-
made room for Santa, and then maybe we it goes to the sides, and we use the ribbon or stanchions to have it, be seen, but not ran
absolutely.
through.
I'm in completely in agreement, and I
And if you want, like we myself and staff can just kind of take care of that, unless you want to do anything very specific. But otherwise, I think we would just kind of create some like side sections that are stanchioned off, and then where the kids can come up and get right to Santa, and the stuff is on either
Perfect.
side. Okay.
Perfect. That
Okay.
works for me.
Okay. Then otherwise it's going to be kind of how it's worked the last couple of years.
And then I do. I think it's important that we have the mat underneath the chair.
Sure,
People
we
forget
can do that.
why we do that.
But it's going to be kind of the same. I expect it to run smooth like it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a check-in, desk at the front. And then I think what we did last year was that we had people kind of go through further, and then they came into the parlor as they were going up next, or was it or we
Yes.
got them from the library to be next. I can't remember.
I guess it may differ this year because you're going to have a photographer in the
We're
library, right?
not going to have a
No.
photographer.
Okay.
Yeah, there
Alright.
was not enough signups for that, so
Okay.
she understandably did not feel like it
Declined.
was
Okay,
going to
that's
be worth her
fine.
time. But that space is still open, and what I told the people, because there were like 3 families that did sign up, but what I told them is our staff and volunteers would be happy to take your photo with your phone of your family in front of the tree. So I think we can still kind of leave that space open for that. Whoever's in the library needs to be comfortable with potentially taking photos for people just on their phones. We're not going to advertise it or anything, but if somebody's like, oh, I really wanted to get a photo, we can still do that for them. But so I think we can either have like when people first come in, if they want to go further back, like into the library and explore that area, and then come back into the parlor to be ready to go up. And then we had somebody kind of at the bottom of the stairs and at the top of the stairs just sending people up, and then whoever's up here was kind of managing this area is sort of like a on deck. And then is that kind of what we've done in the past?
Yeah.
We'll turn all the lights on, right? In the rooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe
does that
flow-wise, you might send them through the hallway, through the dining room, and then
around
the
and then come back
library,
around?
and then music
Okay.
room, and come back to the parlor as they're kind of waiting
Exploring
on
and
deck.
then to be back. Okay.
Yeah,
that
might be
sounds
a good
good.
flow. I won't be here.
Okay.
I have to fly out tonight to go get my daughter.
Okay.
So I won't be here for tomorrow. Sorry.
That's okay.
How many staff?
I
will
think
be
just
here?
Jacqueline and myself, but so we'll have somebody at check-in and then somebody at the top and the bottom of the stairs, because I don't think we necessarily need to like walk them up, but just sending them up, and then they're greeted at the top of the stairs. And then I think the bride's room is not going to be available for people to wait in there, so maybe we'll just have 2 groups up here at a time, a group waiting here, and then whoever is seeing Santa.
I don't think it's a good idea to have extra people in the room with the family because it just gets too confusing. The kids get too excited.
Okay.
And then it's overflow. If we could just bring them up to the top of the stairs and then bring them in, I just think that's a better flow. If we have 2 groups in here at the same time, it's too
That's
much. The
all
kids get
okay.
overwhelmed. And it just slides down from there. That's part of the nice, the ability to have that one-on-one with the Santa without other stuff going on in the background. It helps with the flow, and that's just. And
Is
I
that
do-
what we've done before?
Mhm.
Have somebody
No.
here or not here?
Have
We usually
somebody
had
here.
somebody sitting
Had
waiting.
someone kind of sitting on deck over there.
Okay.
We haven't though.
I don't think we did last
We
year.
didn't.
No?
No,
You
we
didn't?
haven't
Okay.
for the last
Okay.
couple of years because of
Okay.
COVID.
I thought we always
Well,
did because
actually
we had
they
them in
did.
the bride's room
Yeah, I
and
thought
then
they
here,
did.
and then
We had them in the
Oh, that
bride's
was in
room.
the bride's room, yes.
We had them in the bride's room, and then we brought them in, and then it was just because I
There were
tended to be up
chairs.
here.
Chairs right along here, and people were waiting in these chairs.
Not since COVID, we haven't done that.
Okay.
We haven't.
Trying to remember.
Okay. I thought it was like a family in the bride's room. These people were next.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
then- So it was sort of like
I'm sorry.
in the whole on deck.
I remember
and-
that. I remember a
Yeah,
family in the bride's
yeah,
room, a
okay.
family on deck,
Yeah.
and then a family up with Santa. But
Yeah.
however,
Since we don't have the bride's room, it could be a little tricky not
Yeah,
to be able to
not
use
to
this
have-
space. Is the only.
I mean, we
Well,
could
concern.
really keep them over under that chandelier, over in that area, so that it is more separated.
We can try. I just think it's a little, and everybody's taking their coats on and off, and it's just. I do think that we need to make sure we have a donation table up here because they do donate when they're done.
Okay. Well, we got
Because
2 boxes.
they're all in the happy spirit, and that's one of those things.
Okay.
I just think that people get really, oh, can I take my coats on and off, and and they're all about them, and they're not focused on what's going on over here, and it
Well-
gets just.
What if we, because people are already going to be in the house, so if we can have people collect coats elsewhere downstairs, or take care of their coats downstairs, and then maybe when we greet them up here, if we say, if you just want to like quietly have a seat in this room, and there's another family seeing Santa, so just kind of let them know to like
Be
respect that they're
respectful
sharing that
of the-
space for a
yeah.
minute.
We can
Yeah.
try.
Sure, and not everybody's going to be great at that,
No.
but I
Well, the
think
thing is,
since
if
we
they
don't have the
can't
bride's
go
room, we
in-
kind of have to use this space this year.
Yeah.
I'll hear you out on
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that, yeah. So where are we going to keep coats then downstairs? I don't know how we're going to do this.
People
it's
should
not
just
really-
keep them with them. so-
Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah,
they can
and
take them
actually,
off
we
and
don't
carry
even
them
have
along and
the-
set them in a pile as they're going, but they need
Yeah.
to just kind of take
we
them
don't
along
have
with
the
them.
extra coat rack either
Yeah.
because it's
Leave
being
your
used
coat
in
in
the
the
bride's
car.
room. So.
Yeah.
I know there were
I don't
chairs
think it's
right
been
there,
an issue in the
and
past.
parents and grandparents, extra kids or whatever.
Sitting
That's
here.
where the coats were taken off,
Mhm.
where the coats sat, or where they put the coats whilst the kids went to see Santa. But there were chairs there. It may have been from that immediate group that was up there, but there were chairs for the adults
Well,
to
we can
sit
put a
there.
couple right here, at least
Few that
a
up
space
there.
for people to put their bags and coats.
And the other group was
So
out in
they're
the
not in
hall,
photos or whatever.
waiting on deck.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And then we took them out,
yeah.
and this group came in.
Oh,
Okay.
came in through
Yeah,
this door.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll agree with you on
So,
that. Then that's so. Are we
Do you
going
want
to
them
use
waiting
this?
in the
Wait in the
hall?
hallway.
You know?
That's kind of tricky on the
There
stairs.
was something about that. I think Santa said this too. Is that it's better for the kids to come in this door rather than this whole lead up
because
they
it's
get
too
weird.
hard for
And they
them to
get
get
like
all
and
of
go
them.
too
see
excited
Wizard
or
of
too
Oz or
nervous or
something.
whatever.
Yeah.
I do actually remember him saying that now that it was better to bring the kids through this
That's
door
funny.
because they like otherwise they take forever to walk because they're like nervous.
In awe.
Yeah.
And they're
excited or in
not, and
awe.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like a gauntlet that they've got to.
Percentage.
Yeah.
Percentage.
From the
Yeah.
minute they
Remember
hit
that
that
now.
door to get over there, so maybe we shut that door and we just use this one.
I think that actually just remember him saying that like the long walk up was
But then
problematic.
they have to exit through that door.
Yeah, and they can put their coats and stuff. Yeah, or we
So-
can have a couple chairs
So they
there.
then wait in the hallway?
Yeah.
I guess
until it's
so.
time
So
to
we'd
come
only
through
have
this
two
door.
families upstairs at one time.
time.
So there's one waiting.
Yeah.
They can look at
And
the
they can
clothes in the
look at
closet.
the- yeah.
I think
In the bathroom.
I think
Can
you
look
and I
at the
are
bride's
agreeing.
room.
We're just
Do you
seeing
need to
it
go
wait.
potty first before
We're
you see
actually
Santa?
agreeing.
Yeah.
I wonder
But
if
they're-
we could just
Yeah.
put up a sign
Yeah.
on that says exit, so
I think
that
we can-
people don't come in when the door's
Well,
that's
there'll
why
be somebody
somebody's
up
up-
there guiding people.
Oh,
So,
That's why you've got
okay.
one or two of us
Yeah.
up here. Somebody out in the hall keeping that family at bay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then somebody in here.
And guys,
Yeah,
I am
okay,
going to
and
say
then I'll
it's
come
going to be a
here.
really long day for me because I've got my Questers luncheon
Yeah.
tomorrow, which starts at I'll be here at 8,
Okay.
and so it's going to be.
You may need to leave a little early then.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'll help as much as I can,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see how.
We'll be fine.
Okay.
I think. Okay, so yeah,
that
one
leaves-
family here. We'll have them come in here. We'll have a couple chairs for people to set their stuff, and then if we've got one person at check-in, at least one kind of floating the back rooms. We may not necessarily need somebody at the bottom of the stairs. Probably, yeah.
Just
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So bottom
called
of
the
the stairs, another person up here, another person in this room. That's like 5 bare minimum. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right. We've got, let's see, 1, 2,
I may
3,
need to leave around 5.
4. Okay,
6. You've got
5.
So you've got 6.
You're
Kristen, will you
leaving
be?
at 5.
I have kids.
Yeah, no, you're okay. We'll be fine. I think we'll have 6 people.
Yeah, you've got 6.
We'll make it work.
So the check-in people will
Julie,
send
you're
them
gonna
up
be
at
here.
the appropriate
Julie.
time.
And I think we
You're
need
gonna be
somebody
in.
at the bottom of the stairs
Okay,
to
so-
organize that. Because if people are coming in the door and I'm checking people in, I'm communicating with the person at the stairs who's like grabbing the family that's
Okay.
time to go up because we don't want more than 2 families up here at a time.
Yeah.
So
If it
that,
runs as smooth as it did last year,
yeah,
you're
it'll
already
be
fine
okay.
with minimal staff.
Yeah.
I mean, when I
Honestly-
came by, it was like crazy.
Mhm.
It's like clockwork. I think it works so much better since we've
With scheduled.
was
So how many
scheduled
slots are
instead
there?
of just
Or how many?
It's an interesting
And how many
question.
were?
It is a big
How many
one.
registered?
The same as last
I
year. I
think-
have to go.
I mean, I
forward.
do think that you can account for some people maybe not understanding what's going. Like, there may be a few people confused since we did a different
I'm sure
registration
that's true.
system.
Yeah.
So, I would just have that in your brain,
Mm-hmm.
but because there's no more communication between now and tomorrow with them, right? There's not like
No.
please review your selected time and make sure that this is when you're showing up.
I was actually going to send out another email
You are, okay.
just to let people know about the photo thing.
Brilliant.
I can add some additional information. Just to, yeah. Because we don't want people showing up too early. Because originally we had said, like, if you want photos, show up 15 minutes early. And
And we've just learned that people don't read.
they do not.
So if there are details in here, there's most likely not.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
we
it
might-
isn't telling them.
Yeah. And we, in the past, it's been kind of the same families because they
Liked it.
knew how to,
They
get
knew how-
online
they
at
knew how to
midnight.
do
And,
it.
yeah, but I think hopefully we'll have some new folks this year. And so, yeah, I do actually plan to send out an email today that's just reiterating some information.
Yeah, and let them know what time because this bit doesn't say when to come. So if you got the 3:30 time slot, but you've never come to Santa
Yeah.
before, what time can you come to the house?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you telling them to come so that they arrive 5 minutes before their appointment time, or what
I
are you
think I
telling
would
them?
say like no more than 10 minutes before or something along those lines. Give people a chance to kind of go through. And also then if we're backed up a little bit,
Yeah.
they have something to do while so I think like arrive
Besides
no more
climbing
than
the
10
trees.
minutes before your apartment time. Or
Appointment.
apartment time. And maybe something too, like if you're more than 10 minutes late, we may not be able to guarantee your spot. Of course, we're going to get people in anyway, but just to try to keep people on time.
Okay, just be on
Good luck.
time.
Yeah, be mean.
No, be
Yeah.
on time. No Santa for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
You.
Everybody's
that would really go off well.
Yeah, respect for Santa's time and
Yeah.
Santa's time. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we
you
ask
can't
the
just
same
show up
things
whenever.
that we have Santa the night after tomorrow night, with the city, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing. This is your ticket. This is when you need to be back here.
That is a good piece of information too, is if someone shows up tonight, they don't understand the situation and they don't have registration, we can let them know, like, Santa's going to
Santa
be
will be at
the senior center the following night, so there's another opportunity. So, because I think
And this Santa doesn't take breaks and stuff?
he does have a couple breaks that are scheduled
does,
in.
okay.
Yeah, there's 2 time slots that have less people, and then there's 2 skipped time slots after that, so it does allow time for him to take a couple breaks.
Do we have his times written down so we know when he's
When
taking a
those
break?
are, yeah, I'll have a master sheet ready,
Thank you.
and we'll communicate all that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
Brittany.
Yeah. But otherwise, I expect it to be smooth. I do expect, like Kristen said, a little bit of confusion. The sign-up process was different this year, and some new people involved and stuff. But we'll guide people through, and it'll just get smoother for next year. So,
That's good.
yeah.
Well, great.
Okay, sounds like we have a good game plan.
Yeah, so everyone here at 3:15.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, I'll move on to the 2025 annual report. So you now have the updated report, and because everyone has a chance to take a look,
Yes.
does anyone have any other last request to correct or change anything content-wise?
Maybe I missed this before, but it says under 2025 events, says Historic 3rd Avenue Tours, Longmont Museum.
Yeah, that's one and the same.
So,
That's who
okay.
does-
So
that's who
Longmont
does that.
Museum does that. Okay.
Yeah,
That was the only thing that I
Mhm.
wondered about.
yeah,
But thank you for making those other corrections from before.
yeah.
Thank you for all your work.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Brittany, I have a question for you. Would you like this one page included in the report? So do you want it to say the responses regarding
Oh.
clubs? Would you like it included?
No, I think that was informational. Only
Okay.
one person responded, so that was just to share with you all.
Okay.
And I think the statement in here that says like
There-
feedback was
there-
positive
yes.
is sufficient.
Okay.
So that was just to share the
There's only one
feedback that we
response?
got. Yeah, and it's closed now. So I mean,
Oh.
people knew how long they had, and we could get some paper ones back. That happened, I think, last year. We got one
Yeah.
handwritten, which is fine. But that was the one positive feedback, which I think
Excellent.
if people had issues, they would provide feedback. So I think it just means that everybody's good to go.
I think so.
So,
I have
yeah.
like to think that way too. So, yeah.
So I think we need to talk about attachments, unless there are any
Yes.
other
I was just going to
anything else.
double check with everyone real quick about anything content related that needs addressed? Okay. So about attachments to the report, a couple of things. The things that are attached, that will be attached, are where you see attachment. So obviously we have the trifold brochure is going to be an attachment. That's a front and back trifold that will be attached. I'll come back to this, but it's the patrons see attachments. That's another separate attachment. And then we have the formal garden plan, which is an attachment. We also attach the maintenance, the general maintenance spreadsheet and the restoration and preservation spreadsheet, those two single page attachments. So those are the attachments we have.
I think the question,
And I think
the
what we have-
tour brochure is pretty straightforward. Everybody's familiar with that. The maintenance and restoration sheets are the ones that are in here. It's a
Yeah, that we just saw.
2-sheet. So we had some questions about patrons and the formal garden plan.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do for the formal garden plan is attach the one that I think it was in last month's packet that was just without all the photos. And for folks that are new to this year, what this annual report gets given to council, but it's an informational item, and so it's not necessarily discussed at their meetings. It might be if somebody has a question or wants to review parts of it, but it's generally attached to their packet as an informational piece for them to sort of review kind of on their own as they're reviewing that information, and it typically doesn't garner discussion at the meetings unless a council person has a question about Callahan House information. But that said, it's best to kind of keep it somewhat concise. Obviously, we want to share what we've done this year, and why Callahan House is important to the city, but to kind of keep it, concise to some extent. And so Karen and I talked about which, originally there were 7 documents pertaining to patrons and which ones would be appropriate to include. So yeah, kind of jumping back and forth. But the formal garden plan, we thought just the one that was provided in the last packet without the photos would be sufficient for that. And then for patrons, I have them here if anybody wants to view them. But we figured the outline and the goals.
Yeah, this one, which is the outline with the goals.
I think that's a great one.
And
it's concise.
It's the outline of the program. It lists the goals up top. The second page that would include the goals, that details what those goals are. And these were on display during our fall tea. But this just tells, it kind of gives the outline of the program and then, the goals of the program. So these two are definitely good choices to include. Then the question becomes, well, what else would we want if we would want it? And the if is really up to you all to decide, because the other documents that I included were the letter that went to the individual, the letter that went to the company organization, the donation form, and then the online website content. But in reality, I think the first 2 pages are really what's most important. I backed down and said, well, maybe the letters might be worth including, and they're just the 2 letters, only for the purpose of if the city council wanted to know what we were communicating and how to our potential donors. So I want to leave this to you all, what you think. I'd like to open discussion about it. What are your thoughts on it? I'm whatever you all decide, I'm with. I just thought, well, let's see what the board wants to do. I don't know. Would city council want to know this?
You're reporting what we did, so those first 2 pages explains the patrons program. All this other stuff is what we did for us to be able to put it in place. They don't need to see all that, know all that. So I think your goals and the reason behind us doing the program is plenty, the first 2 sheets.
Yeah, I agree. They're inundated with so much information, And the bottom line is they want to see and know what we're doing, which is what the first 2 sheets do. And I think that explains it.
Okay.
I wouldn't add the letters in.
Okay.
I think that's really more for us in an in-house purpose.
Okay.
It's concise with the overall understanding of the program and why we're doing it and whatnot. Yeah, I would just do that.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
I like the first 2 pages. The other ones are online, like the form.
The form is an online thing, but the individual letters that would be mailed or emailed out aren't. But it's okay.
But it's a work in progress,
Yeah.
so I think these are the definite things to include.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're all in agreement then, right? Okay, great. So these will be the 2 documents for patrons that will be attached to the annual report. Okay. So we're good. All right. And so I think unless there's anything else to change or comment about the annual report, I need a motion to approve.
I so move that we submit the annual report as put forth before us today.
With, keep in mind, with the fact that the numbers will be updated, the final numbers for 2025 will be updated before the report's submitted. But that will be probably in the first quarter.
Usually the report ends up getting actually submitted and being on as part of a council meeting in like April.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know. So the like numbers come out from the city, or at least like sort of initial numbers, maybe by February or March.
It's not a fast process, let's put it that way.
And then, I mean, really, numbers can even kind of change into like June. But we, in the past couple of years, have submitted this to council around April.
So. Again, motion is that I so move that we submit the report with the updated numbers that will be putting forth and all the additional pieces that we've spoken about at this meeting.
Okay. Maureen made a motion. Do we have a second? Jeff, second. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Just double checking with you. You do not mean for that to be included in that?
It's informational for us. We talked about
Okay.
our program's overview at the end of each year.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. Okay, we'll move on to the annual events calendar. So for that, again, that's just kind of overview of generally what we may do, or generally what we do and potentially may do in any given calendar year. And hopefully people have given some thought about combining the summer open house with club affair, because that can consolidate a couple events and kind of be a dual purpose date. Wanted to see what anyone thinks about that. I put that out as food for thought to consider. What does everyone think about?
some more information for that. I think we kind of talked about this, but that the chamber is open to, us taking part in club in unity in the community, potentially like having a larger space where we invite our clubs in, and the fee for that I think was it would be $100 per booth for each club in order for us to like pay for our space, and then that they could split it so that would be the same as the $50 that we asked for them to pay last year as a donation-based thing. We could also kind of do it the same way as if like, here's a suggested donation for this amount of space, and if people do less, most people made the suggested donation, but if people do less, then we can potentially cover that if that's something we want to do. But so that was what was offered. The other thing that we could do is just take part in Unity just as a Callahan booth, and not like a larger space. So I think that probably is biting off a more appropriate amount for us to chew. In general, with everything we've got going on and lots of committees and other projects that we want to focus on, making traction on this year, I would tend to maybe steer clear of a larger participation in Unity. Maybe we want to do a booth with them.
I think we want to
that's
just
good
do
choice.
a booth
for ourselves.
for the house.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
and promote ourselves, what we do, our events, the fact that we can have events here. Just again, community outreach. I think the other one's just too overwhelming. To
I
be
agree.
honest.
Yeah, especially with art walk that we do, and they would be back to back, you know, in August
Yeah.
and September. So, yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, kind of piggybacks off of what we did discuss last month, and the idea of just having a single table to share information with the community about Callahan House at Unity and community. And then again, if we've got that listed as an optional or additional event, which is great. But going back to like our regular events, coming back to the summer open house and club affair, and how we talked even last month about the fact that it really is more about the house and showcasing the house and the clubs and promoting club use of the house. And so doing that here on site, hopefully in combination of an open house, would be dual purpose, and I think it would be highly successful. So how's everyone feel about that? Combining having the table at Unity and community, but that's going to be so much more low key. But having the club affair and the summer open house combined as one event.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay.
I think
That way
that's
it
more
doesn't
doable.
compete with Unity as much if it's in. We're still talking about like
July.
late July, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one event for
Yeah.
us instead of
Yeah.
two, and
Yeah.
not competing with Unity.
Yeah.
Right.
Simplify.
And what is this board retreat? Is that something you've done in the past?
Yes.
We have
Or-
done one in the
Because
past.
they didn't have one this year, so that's
No.
why I'm wondering what.
We
'cause
have
it-
done one in the past.
So we have the board meeting in January, we'd have a board retreat, and we also have a de-decorate. Those are three big time-consuming things. in
What is the
January.
board retreat
So what
been
is
in the
that?
past?
Well, the board retreat in the past was to review the bylaws and look at all of the documents regarding the house. It would be nice to incorporate a tour of the house if needed, because I think something that, and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were like, well, we ever get a tour of the house? So it would be nice to be able to incorporate kind of just as a day, let's just all get on the same page, make sure we're all aware of everything. And yes, let's, do a walkthrough of the house so everyone understands and kind of knows how, the layout of the house, be able to see everything and essentially take a tour of their own personally within the group during the retreat.
I mean, the idea is to do something like that, and also just look at the mission statement. Look at all the things that we just readdress certain things that we overlook because
I mean, it's an overall capture of
it's just the overall capture, and that's important.
Yeah.
We just don't get those things accomplished during a regular meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
especially any given board meeting, we can't
We
get all
don't have
that
the
done.
time.
And is that your plan to do that one in January then? And with knowing that it's the 5
Yeah,
people who are here at this table?
yeah,
Okay.
because it is just did you know, ... let's, come back and talk about this again. Let's clear that up.
How much time is maybe needed for something like that? The reason I ask is I'm curious if it, annually, the January meeting should be planned for a little bit longer to go over some of that stuff, or it's like a addition to the meeting for just the board, or?
It is a separate thing for just the board, so it wouldn't include public to be invited to.
Right, well, I guess whatever it is, annually tacking it on to the board meeting, but is it hours and hours of time? Or
Yeah,
is
it is. It's like a half a day. There's no
Okay.
way that you can get it
Gotcha.
done.
I thought it was,
Yeah.
It's a good half
How
day.
does that play into somebody new starting at the end, halfway through the year, and you've already had this retreat, and then you have somebody coming in?
Well,
That's-
if that happens, then potentially that might be a sit down with whoever's chairperson at the time for that new person to kind of go through a bit of an orientation, and go through a house tour.
Yep, I'm just asking.
Something like
for our
that.
time
I mean, it
commitment.
may.
And
Yeah.
you guys, this board has done a ton this year, and we are down to 5 next year. So I want to just keep that cognizant of everybody that you guys have gone above and beyond this year, and just want to be respectful of everybody's commitments and lives.
I think
And
when
so-
we get started on the right foot, it really lays a very clear path and it makes it easy for.
Is the house manager
Flow.
usually at that retreat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But getting started on the right foot, to me, this is getting started on the wrong foot. Because the 5 of us have been through the fire this year. What is it you're saying that we don't know that we need to learn? If there's a new person coming on board, or 2 or 3 new people, I totally understand that. But it's kind of like you have to read your audience. Do we really need to do that? Or can we do it like Brittany suggested, in the content of a meeting? Because I want to know, what is it you would be conducting it, I'm assuming, or you're going to plan it, even if you're not president. You've already got it in your head what this needs to look like. So what is it that you're going to tell me that I don't know?
It's not that I would tell. It would be more of a information sharing and any inquiry opportunity for anyone. Because, I mean,
I think we have that every month, don't we?
I don't
Not
know.
necessarily.
I don't know. I mean, when you all stepped on the board, share generally what your thoughts were and how you felt.
I think being new at retreat would have been a good idea to review things like the mission statement, policies, and generally what we do. Because it takes a little while to learn everything when you're just sitting at it, meeting. I think the overall would be good. And also, we know that often retreats are also part of team building, getting to know people. So when there are new people on the board, that would have that benefit also. I wouldn't mind having a period of time that we could sit down and review all these things, like the mission statement. I'm not sure last time I really read the mission statement, or if I really understand it. Just things along that line, more of a refresher. I mean, I guess we already have a team built, but I think it's good to relax on a situation different than a board meeting.
A little less formal, a little more
Yeah.
casual, a little more comfortable, and let's talk and look at things and ask questions and figure it out and make sure that we're all on the same page.
And lots of public invited to be heard. I've been to city council retreats, and they're very open about that.
Oh, okay. Okay, Julie, do you have anything further to share?
Well, I know we got our folders, and then there was copies of the deed and copies of, the early documents and stuff, and I just had to read it on my own, so.
City used to do something too, didn't they, for new members?
There's a city orientation,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah, it's
that's just general how
Right.
to
Oh no, I agree.
how
That's
to be
very
a part
general.
of a meeting.
Yeah, I totally agree.
the protocol,
I'm just saying
you
that
know,
that's
how to behave.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good to have more of a casual thing where we get to know each other as people. Like, I didn't know until I saw your application about your background in journalism, or so it'd be kind of nice to get to know each other a little bit more deeper.
So a casual
but
thing
more of a casual
sounds
thing
different than a retreat.
than a.
Oh, well then I
Sorry.
I had a different thought in my mind that the retreat is more of a casual
Okay, so that's
get
what
to
we
know
did.
you, all get on the same page and be team building.
Yeah, team building.
That's
to me. That's
my
what a retreat is.
thinking of a retreat. I think of a retreat as something kind of fun.
So who runs this retreat though?
Well, typically I might say that whoever's
We do.
serving as the chairperson is running the retreat, but all of the members are essentially
Running
the
it.
input and running it. I mean, it's for everybody. It's not for any one person. It's for everyone to just be able to come together and
So this would be more like a committee where you don't have to have it recorded.
right, not recorded, not it's just meant for casual communication and discussion.
Yeah.
And team building. That's all.
This is something that we talked about at the January meeting. Or the-
So we want to have it
Scheduling it.
separate than the meeting
Scheduling it
because
at
it's
January.
more of a casual
But
thing
is
and
it-
not something
is
that needs to be
whether or not we want
recorded.
this to take place or how it needs to function, something that can be talked about at the January meeting, just for the purposes of.
Yeah, we're
It
running.
can be,
moving forward
yeah,
today.
it can be discussed more at January, but I think we'll plan to schedule it in January, at the January board meeting. It would be an enjoyable retreat.
I don't know what retreats you've been to.
Yeah,
Are
what,
they like
what
torture
in the world kind
sessions
of
or
retreats
what?
are you going to?
I'm just thinking of January, and I have other things. We all have other things in our lives, and it's kind of like sometimes things can become so overwhelming that it's tough to deal with it. So we're meeting in January with a regular meeting. We're de-decorating. Okay.
It's a chore day.
And we're having a retreat. Okay, to me, more efficiency would be to combine that retreat, whatever it's going to look like, with a meeting, because we're not combining de-decorating with a meeting. And there's 2 times then that we meet in January instead of 3. I mean, that's my thought. And I'm just curious what the agenda would be. Okay, so we have a retreat. So who's going to lead it, and what's it going to be about? What's going to be talked about? And are we going to sing Kumbaya? Are we going to play games? What are we going to do? Are we going to go to a bar and drink? What's this going to look like? You know?
I think there's some good things to talk about.
Okay, first of all, I wouldn't want that to be at a meeting that's recorded if we're going to the bar. But
Does it need to take place right in January? Would it be helpful if it were, given the fact that we
February.
this year don't have new members?
Right.
What if it's a little
February.
bit later, February, March, even?
what about
If
February?
that helps a little bit.
February could work?
I think
And I
shooting
think
for January, maybe since we haven't had one of these for the last couple of years, to my knowledge, maybe this year it can help figure it out and streamline it, and then in the future we can plan it for January to accommodate new members. But this year, since we're not going to
And I
have
think
any,
the key piece there is new members. And like I said originally, we've been through the fire. We've gotten to know each other. We had some real team building over the last month or so. Okay, and as far as what we need to know, I'm sorry, I've been here a while. It's like, what do I need to know? That's all I'm asking. You know.
yeah. Well, maybe this year would be a good time to formulate that and then have it be more of an established thing for future years in January when there are new members.
I think that's a great idea. And then I also think that sometimes it's important to look back at everything and just have a quick reminder of stuff. And I understand where you're coming from, Candy. It's overwhelming. Everything's been overwhelming getting to this point.
Especially after all the hours you all have put in over the last couple of months.
But I do think it's important that we maintain the enjoyment of it. And
Oh, amen. I totally agree.
and that's what I think a retreat is a retreat to step back and look at what we're doing and why we're doing it, and having that connection, making that connection within the board.
Do other groups have retreats? Do other
Yes. They do.
boards with the city have retreats?
They
I'm
do.
not involved in any other city boards, so.
They do. I'm just saying.
I've been involved in other city boards and yes, they do.
Okay, so I think, guys, I just want to be cognizant it's 11/11.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's.
How about
So
at the
in
January
January,
meeting,
we will
let's talk
set
about this
a
more and set a date.
retreat date,
And for
probably
For
to happen in
sometime in the
February.
first quarter, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I like that because then I can attend.
Yes.
When I'm done with surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So moving forward, that leads us to the recruitment debrief, 2026 Callahan House Advisory Board recruitment.
Yeah, I think the news is kind of out, but we did have one person that's not already serving on the board that applied, but unfortunately they had to pull out due to an injury. So we're hoping that they maybe will be able to reapply again for mid-year. But at this point, the board is pretty much everyone here except for Maureen is on her break, her Rumspringa year, and so. But otherwise, yeah, Candy and Cindy were technically the only applicants. And it's not been finalized yet, but I think City Council is in the process of finalizing everything right now. But of course, we made recommendation to reappoint them both, and we expect that Council will move forward with that. So that means we'll have 5.
And Cindy, are you planning on being at the January one or no, depending on surgery?
It's
January?
possible I could, because
It's
I'll be
fine,
on my feet
it's
without
totally
it.
fine. I just want to, if there's only going to be 4, I want to make sure if someone is ill or not going
Yeah.
to make it, that we know that ahead
You
of
have to have
time.
a
Yeah,
quorum
so
of
we
4.
yeah, so we did this last year. We had 5 last year, and 4 is the quorum, so it's doable. Somebody can miss a meeting. If we're going to have more than one person miss, then we need to reschedule typically. But so just being really mindful if you're going to miss a meeting to give us as much notice as possible. So if you need to be healing, that is okay. We just need to know if somebody else is going to miss as well.
Okay.
Because we need to have it downstairs if she does attend.
We'll
Yeah,
plan
like
to,
in the
I
library.
think.
Oh,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah. Well, I guess if that table's still. That table's still not going to still be set up after.
It's about
For
her
the
recovery.
wedding,
So
It's about her recovery.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I think oh, we don't have the table. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that table's going to be best.
Sorry to
Anyway.
complicate
No,
things.
No,
no,
you're
no,
not.
no.
No, you're not at
No
all.
complications.
No complications.
All right.
The only thing is, we usually do the elections and all of that in January. So.
Yeah. So what I would suggest, if it's all right, I know that our bylaws provide that a prior year officer temporarily chairs the January, or temporarily chairs for the January meeting. And I might ask if it's okay with you all. I'd be happy to serve in that capacity just for the January meeting. I do anticipate that someone else will be elected chairperson going forward. But if that's okay, will that help smooth the process? Is that acceptable to everyone?
Yeah, we'll just have the officers be
Right.
in their original
Okay.
roles for the
Sure.
January meeting
Okay.
until new elections are made.
And elections happen and the meeting continues, but then
Yeah.
the new elected officers begin in the February meeting.
Correct.
So, okay. All right. Okay then. So then we'll move on to new business. I don't know that we have new business. And then we can go on to items from staff.
Just a quick follow-up. I don't really have any follow-up for what's on here. Still waiting on the museum to see if maybe we can fit into their programming with the video release. And I kind of wanted to learn about that before reaching out to other organizations, just to say, hey, we're showing this at the museum. Can we also, just to figure out a timeline so we're not like all over the place with that. I think the museum, would be our best bet. And then depending on what we find out from them, then reaching out to some of the other organizations that we talked about, like showings at Senior Center and the list that we discussed last month. So no real update there. The other items that are just attachments here are the club survey. So like we already kind of talked about, one club had positive feedback and it's here if you want to review it. But in general, things are running smoothly with clubs. And then we had talked about a few months ago, at some point earlier this year, about doing providing like an overview of program revenue at the end of each year. So we don't have any additional December programs at this point, so this is provided to you now. So I don't know if there are questions about it or any of that. The major kind of, I have the total from 2024 was significantly higher than this last year. The main change this year was the murder mystery dinner was unfortunately we just didn't sell enough tickets for that. So I don't know, it wasn't any different really than last year. We originally had intended to do 2 nights of it because last year it sold out with a good sized waiting list, and so we were going to do 2 runs and then ended up canceling one of them, the Friday night run, because it just didn't sell enough tickets, and then even the Saturday was pretty difficult to pull off with the amount of tickets that we sold. We ended up losing money on that event. So I don't know what to say about that other than the economy is different. Maybe
We did
it was
increase the
last year
price though, right?
by like $10. It wasn't.
But
When you're looking at like a big dollar amount
Sure.
like that,
Yeah.
I think the economy is really different.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's what I'm blaming it on. But it was difficult, and unfortunately the content of the event, or I guess the quality of the event, suffered a little bit because we didn't have as much money to work with. And so I'm hoping that won't affect it. We are signed up for at least to do it for one more year, because when we canceled the second run, instead of losing our deposit, they were able to just push it to next year. So that's good. So I think we'll kind of think about some ways to do the food and beverage differently. That's
Also,
an expensive
how can
piece,
we market
but-
it better? How can we get people? How do we reach the people so they know about the event?
Yeah, I mean, the marketing is the same this year as it was the year before, more actually, because the catering team actually marketed it as well. But all of the avenues that we typically use for the city, I mean, it was in the brochure. It was in all of the normal city avenues, emails and newsletters, and then we also
flyers.
Yeah, we had flyers around. We used Chamber Visit and LDDA. So it was actually marketed more this year than it was the previous year.
And we still didn't
Yeah, it
use
was
them.
just like kind of a weird fluke. I don't know what else to say about it. That event was the big difference in terms of like revenue this year. We still did turn a profit on programs, but they are a lot of work for
What we
this
get.
level of profit is not awesome. But
Yeah.
but we're still, we're planning the Valentine's Day tea for
It still
2026.
sounds
and-
incredibly fun, and again,
Yeah, we're
connecting with
still
community. I think it's important.
we're still planning on, and we have the art class is still planned, and the Valentine's Day tea for early 2026. So everything looks about the same in terms of what we saw this year, other than, and we are planning at least one more murder mystery dinner. Maybe moving forward, if we do it again, it just might look a little bit different. But anyhow, that was the big change this year. So still turned out of revenue and programs, but significantly less than the prior year. So anyhow,
It's a shame. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Well, it's just
But it's one of those.
things, but-
Sometimes you just have a hit or miss.
Yeah, yeah,
And you can try to hit it as hard as you can, and it still doesn't.
yeah.
Oh.
So anyhow,
I think it's a great event. So.
Me too. I'm like, Brittany, you could not make $1. Let's keep going. I think it's cool. Brittany thinks differently.
well, this last year of it was pretty rough, and like I said, and then I didn't feel as good about the quality of the event because we didn't
you
have the
get
money
feedback
to spend
from
on it. Yeah, we got surveys back, and everything everybody had to say I felt like was totally fair. That like the quality wasn't as good as it was the year before because, and we already, even in taking several $100s of a hit on the event, like kind of did what I could with
what
it.
was
but-
it that they were complaining about?
Food and beverage. Because the prior year we did, so the murder mystery company is expensive and the catering is expensive. It's just an expensive event to put on. And because of how those things have to be booked, we can't just like cancel the program like we do with an art class or something if people don't register. But so the murder mystery company does great. People had good feedback about that. And then food and beverage, we kind of pivoted. Last year we did like a full plated sit down dinner. This year, because of ticket sales, we kind of pivoted to do it was like a heavy appetizer buffet, which, and we also like skimped on I shouldn't say skimped, but we in order to be more budget friendly, we utilized less catering staff, and so we had people, instead of like a plated meal with wine service, it was like a buffet where people went up to the bar and went up to get their food. And it just wasn't, people weren't as catered to as they were the prior year. And so I think the people that were the most disappointed, we still had a lot of good feedback about the event, but some of the less positive feedback was about, like, last year we came and we got to do this, and then this year we came and paid the same or more, and it was this. And I can't argue with any of that. Like, we, didn't want to have to do it like that, but we already lost several $100s on it because we just didn't sell the tickets. And unfortunately, you don't know that until it's already
There.
halfway in the works. So it was kind of a necessary pivot, but the quality of the event suffered for that. And yeah, I couldn't blame anybody for any of their feedback on that. So there was some feedback based on people just not reading, as we said. People
they
were
don't
like,
read.
there were supposed to be cocktails. I saw that there were cocktails. No, we're not allowed to serve those here, so nothing said cocktails. But and about what time doors were and things that were part of the information that people just didn't read. But that's okay. But yeah, I couldn't argue with any of the feedback about the food and beverage. It was not what we had hoped to do. So I don't know. Next year, then the question is, like, do we just plan it as an appetizer buffet from the beginning and just make sure, in case we don't get the sales, and just make sure that information is really clear.
And there's
then we
no
can
cocktails because you didn't
We
get
can't
the
serve
liquor.
hard liquor.
Right.
The city,
can't have
no
somebody
city
come
buildings
in
serve hard
and
liquor.
Oh, it's just wine and beers.
There's no
Right.
hard liquor in city buildings in general. So,
So
making
you
that
do
more.
have the beer and wine?
Yeah.
Oh.
So making that more clear to people and planning it as an appetizer buffet, and then if we do get more ticket sales, we can go more elaborate with the appetizer buffet, but just
Yeah.
planning it as that from
That's
the
a good-
beginning and just making it really clear to people what it is, I think is going to be the plan for next year.
It's a
'Cause
good
it
idea.
was-
It's a good approach.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll do it for at least one more year and see how it goes, and then maybe we can better inform it for future years, or maybe it's not the right event. If it's too hit or miss and we don't have the option to pivot very easily on it. So
No pivoting. Gosh darn it.
anyway,
That's been my whole thing. Okay, we're pivoting.
yeah. That's all I have for items from staff.
Okay. Any items from board members? No? All right. I just want to say one last time thank you to this board because of, and Brittany and Kristen, because it's a ton of work as a volunteer. It's a lot of your time, a lot of your effort, a lot of your everything. And so for everything you've put in this entire year, I just want to say thank you. It's just it's a pleasure to serve alongside you.
And
I'm
thank
gonna
you
say, yeah.
So,
for
It's
your
been-
leadership.
Thank you for this opportunity to work with all of you. It's been great.
yeah.
We're gonna miss you, Maureen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think future agenda items stay as they are. We'll address January stuff for our January item agenda, but for now it is 11:25. Do we have a motion to adjourn? No, everyone wants to hang out. Cindy moves, we adjourn.
We're just
Do we have a second?
comatose now from being at the meeting that
Maureen or?
Oh, Maureen's
Okay,
last
Maureen,
time.
Maureen will second. There we
Maureen's
go.
last time.
And are we all, no discussion? Are we all in favor? Yes. It is unanimous. Yay.
Thank you.
What's the next
And
plan?